Hey everybody, I want to talk to you guys about the definition of derivative and just kind of put it in what I think is like an easier way to think about it when you start looking at the graph. So we have been studying slope of a secant line, and I want to kind of get to where we get to this function. So if we are looking at this point here, which is x, okay, then directly up here, this point on the graph is found by plugging in that value of x into the function to get your y. This means the f at the point, the function value at the point of x. So the slope of the secant line says, hey, I'm going to move over h units to here. And so that would be x plus h, because it's h away. And let me kind of draw that this would be a distance of h here. So then if I follow the function up, then this value here is f of x plus h, because that's what I'm putting in, is an x plus h into the function to get the y value. Therefore, the secant line between those would be found by connecting them like that. That would be the slope of, and then we could find the slope of the secant. So we could find that by doing f of x plus h, because change in y minus the change, change in y over change in x. So there's our change in y's, and then our change in x's is x plus h minus x. Well, if you notice, then the x's cancel out, right? So our function becomes f of x plus h minus f of x, all over just this h. So here's the kind of crazy idea that we're looking at with calculus. We have decided, like, if h is far away, then, you know, we can't really, like the slope of the secant, let's imagine that this is the point that we want to find, this is the point f of x that we want to find the slope of the tangent line. So let me try and draw that. The tangent line probably looks like this through the point. I don't know. I'm just doing, you know, a very rough sketch here. So it probably looks like that, something along those lines. So if you're going to use the secant line to estimate the slope of the tangent line at f of x, this is inaccurate, right? Because it's totally different. I mean, like, the slope of the secant line looks like a positive slope. The slope of the tangent line looks like a negative slope. So it's inaccurate. But if we do this, if we scoot this h, like if we make h smaller, let's scoot this point to here. If I scoot, you know, make h like half of the amount, then suddenly the secant line looks like this. It's getting closer, right? Because now, let me just get rid of that. Now it also has a negative slope, okay? It's getting closer to that purple line that would be the slope of the tangent, which is our goal here. Okay, so let's cut it in half again. Let's put it here. So then, you know, I'm kind of getting on top of each other here. It's going to be harder to see. So it's getting closer to the purple again. So as we make h smaller, we bring those points closer together, and they get closer to the actual slope of the tangent line at f of x, which is what we call our derivative of f of x. So the way that we write this in definition form is the limit as h approaches 0, meaning h gets smaller and smaller and smaller till it's practically 0, of this is going to equal our derivative. Okay, and that, depending on what the function is that we're starting with, it will either give us an equation where then we can plug in any value of x to find the slope of the tangent line at that point x, or, you know, possibly if it's a line, it might just give us a number. You'll see the differences as we go. So this function that I drew here is this one right here, 3x to the third minus 4x squared plus x plus 4. So let's apply this derivative formula. We are going to find the derivative by doing the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. This is the definition that's going to give me the equation of any tangent line to this particular function. So I do some scratch work, okay? I'm going to kind of like leave this alone for just a minute. Try to give myself enough space. So I already know what f of x is. Now let me do f of x plus h. And as you guys know from last chapter, this gets messy like really fast because we're going to plug in x plus h everywhere that we see x. So yes, this is lots and lots of stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more scratch work down here. I'm going to do x plus h times x plus h, and you'll see why I'm doing the square first, because if I FOIL these, I get x squared. I'm going to put these two together, so 2 hx or xh, however you want to put those, because that I'm going to do x times h plus x times h, and then plus h squared. So I know that that's going to go here, so I can kind of put that in there. Minus 4 times the quantity. I can't get rid of those parentheses yet because I have to distribute the whole thing, and I don't know why I just put a minus there. 2hx plus h squared. Okay, I don't have to do anything with this plus x plus h plus 4. That's okay, but I fixed this. Now I have to figure out what x plus h to the third is. So that means like I multiplied by another x plus h. And watch this. I'm actually going to put it in the front because this is how I kind of cheat in a sense. I call it cheating. Maybe it's just making things easier, making things more efficient. So watch, I'm going to put x plus h in the front. I've found what x plus h squared is. So now I'm going to distribute. Well, when I do x times x squared, I get x to the third. When I do x plus 2xh, I get plus 2hx squared. Sorry, I said that incorrectly. And then x times h squared gives me plus xh squared. Okay, so I multiplied x by everything. Now let me multiply h by everything. So when I multiply h by x squared, I get an hx squared. Notice how I'm putting it, lining it up with the other hx squared. And then h times 2hx is going to give me plus 2xh squared, lining it up again, and then plus h times h squared gives me h cubed. So now I'm combining like terms, I'm just doing it vertically. So x cubed plus 3hx squared plus 3hx squared, xh squared plus h to the third. I wrote the x's the first time, so now I'm saying them wrong every single time. I apologize. All right, so this is this right here. So I am going to come up here, and I'm going to put the 3, and I'm going to fill this all in. X to the third plus 3xh squared plus 3xh squared plus h to the third, trying not to run out of room. So let us distribute. I'm going to get 3x cubed plus 9hx squared plus 9h or xh squared plus 3h to the third minus 4x squared minus 8hx minus 4h squared, and then plus x plus h plus 4. Whew, that was a lot, right? Okay, this whole thing is our f of x plus h. So there's a lot of room for error in there, right? So we have to be really careful when we do that. That's why I say do your scratch work, okay? Do your scratch work. Give space for that, because otherwise you're going to get super, super messed up. All right. So now we have to plug this stuff back into the function. So I am going to make this f of x function the green one so you can see it a little bit more clearly, and then the f of x plus h function is in the purple. So I'm starting with the purple, and forgive me, I'm going to squeeze it all over here. So as h approaches 0, so I'm just rewriting this 3x to the third. I'm going to pause really quick so that you can just see it when I finish writing it. Hold on. Okay, so I copied all of the x plus h information right here, and then I'm going to subtract. Watch how I'm going to write this. The quantity 3x to the third minus 4x squared plus x plus 4. Now, we have to distribute this negative sign. For the sake of me not having to write everything over again, I'm going to write it up here. Negative 3x to the third. When I do negative times the negative 4x squared, I get a positive 4x squared. Negative times x gives me minus x, and then a negative times 4 gives me minus 4. So if you can kind of keep track of that there. Okay, don't forget, this is all over h. So this is where the fun part begins, because you want to cancel stuff out. There's too much garbage here. We need to cancel it out. So 3x to the third cancels with the negative 3x to the third. Positive 4x squared cancels with negative 4x squared. Negative x cancels with positive x. And negative 4 cancels with positive 4. Now, I just want to show you something, because this is how you know if you've done something wrong. The only terms you should have left all have h's in them. If you are left with something that doesn't have an h, you missed a sign somewhere. They will all have h's, I promise you. So you want to make sure they all have h's. If they don't, that's where you're having an error. So let me scoot this up just a little bit. So let me rewrite limit as h approaches 0 of 9. Okay, I'm going to write this. Hold on. Okay, so I finished writing that. You notice if I'm going to put in 0 into the numerator and the denominator, I would get a 0 over 0, which is indeterminate form, which I cannot use. So I need to keep simplifying, okay? So in order to simplify, I have to factor out, I have to get rid of this h in the denominator. That's my biggest problem. If I'm still getting a 0 in the denominator, I have issues. I can't tell anything about my function just yet. So I have to get rid of this h. So I'm going to factor an h out of everything in the numerator. So this is going to give me 9x squared plus 9xh plus 3h squared minus 8x minus 4h. Careful with this one, it's a plus 1 if you take that out. Okay, that's all over h. So now we're still doing the limit as h approaches 0. And so now I can cancel the h's. Voila. And then we go ahead and apply the limit. So we're going to have 9x squared, that's going to be plus a 0, plus another 0, minus 8x, minus 0, plus 1. So what does that give us? That gives us a function called 9x squared minus 8x plus 1. Okay, hold on 2 seconds. So remember, this is the definition of derivative. So we have just found our derivative, often written as f prime of x. Okay, so this right here is the derivative of f of x. So this is a function. Why? Well, this is representative of the slope of a tangent line of our original graph. But let's go back and look at the graph. It's a function because guess what? If I want to find the slope of the tangent line here, it's going to be different than the slope of the tangent line up here. It's going to be different than the slope of the tangent line right here. They're all going to be different depending on what your x is. So that's why it's a function and not just like 5 or 6 or 10 or whatnot. So